Hey guys, I'm back for my first video in forever. I just had to take a few breaks off for college and everything, but anyways, I wanted to get this out of the way real quick to talk about the Ravens mid-season report, since we're halfway through the season, just about now. Ravens just had their bye week not too long ago. Anyways, I just want to go through everything. I have a bunch of points that I want to go through, and so yeah, let's get started with the organization in the front office. Basically, I don't have any problem with them whatsoever. Or, I mean, can't predict injuries. If the only way you can predict that someone's going to get injured is if they have an injury history throughout college, or if they were released from a previous team due to injury problems. But other than that, I don't have any other problems with what's going on with the Ravens organization right now. The organization up top. Now let's get to the injuries themselves. The Ravens have been dealing with a lot of injuries this year. I mean, before the season, Gus Edwards, J.K. Dobbins, Justice Hill, all three, all three of our top running backs were out before the year. Um, we also were dealing with injuries to blindside tackle Ronnie Stanley, who was out for the season, which we'll get to in a bit. We'll talk about the offensive line in a bit. Linebacker LJ Fort, cornerback Marcus Peters, cornerback Jimmy Smith as well, but he's back. So yeah, we've been dealing with a lot of injuries. There's so many more I could go through. But anyways, so yeah, we've been dealing with a ton of injuries. I think we have so far the most players on IR, which is ridiculous as well. Also, Nick Boyle. And of course, Mark Andrews is questionable this week, also with an injury. Well, tomorrow. Alright. But anyways, moving on from that. Let's start off with the offense. How do I think the offense got so far? Let's start with quarterback Lamar Jackson. I don't need to spend much time on him. He looks absolutely great. He's definitely shown improvements from last season. Sure, he can cut down the turnovers, and sure, he has his slow starts. But once he starts kicking it, the Ravens really start to contend. And we'll get to that in a bit. But the problem isn't on Lamar Jackson. The problem is everything else surrounding him. The offensive line can't stay healthy. We have no run game. And our wide receivers are always on the injury report. I guess let's start with the offensive line. And our offensive line has not looked good at all. What, we're down to our third string left guard, third string right tackle, backup left tackle. I mean, this is our offensive line going into the season. Left tackle was Ronnie Stanley. Left guard was Ben Cleveland. Our center is Bradley Bozeman. Our right guard is Kevin Zeitler. And our right tackle is Alejandro Villanueva. Now it's Alejandro Villanueva at left tackle. Our left guard is back to Ben Powers. Center is Bradley Bozeman. Right guard is Kevin Zeitler, which has not changed. And our right tackle is Tyree Phillips now. It was originally Patrick McCarry, but now he's on the injury report, so now we have Tyree Phillips at right tackle. So our offensive line has been like shifting on and off, on and off. Like, we just cannot get consistency there. So, alright, let's go through each of them themselves. The center I think where most of the pressures come from and why Lamar Jackson gets so much pressure is from the inside. What I've seen, Alejandro Villanueva has looked good outside of a few screw-ups. Not the few screw-ups, Alejandro Villanueva has played fine. And at right tackle, Patrick McCarry has played really good up until his injury. And if he didn't get injured, who knows what could have happened there. Center Bradley Bozeman, he has looked really good. Um, we finally got some consistency when it comes to snaps. And right tackle, not right tackle, right guard, Kevin Zeitler has looked solid as well. Our problem right now is at left guard. We're down to our third string left guard, which is Ben Powers. It was originally supposed to be Ben Cleveland, our third round rookie. He looked really good in training camp. Harbaugh seemed impressed with him, Roman as well. So he was expected to start there. But then he ended up getting injured before the season. And then came in Tyree Phillips. And then Tyree Phillips gets injured. So then we activate Ben Cleveland the end off IR, and then now he has a season and injury, so now we're back to Tyree Phillips, and then Patrick Picard gets injured, so he had to bump Tyree Phillips back to right tackle, since that's where I think that's where he played last season, and then we put Ben Powers at left guard, who has been pretty solid as a rotational guy. I don't want him as a permanent starter. So this is what's been going on. This is our current. I mean, even looking back last year in 2019. In 2019, Riley Bozeman, actually not 2019, even 2019. They've only had one consistent lineman from 2019 to 2020 to 2021. That's been left guard / center Bradley Bozeman. He played left guard in 2019, played left guard in 2020, then moved to center in 2021. Back in 2019, our left tackle, our two tackles were always set. I've never had any problems with Orlando Brown and Ronnie Stanley at left and right tackle. They played really good. And then, of course, Marshall Yanda retired. So, after the 2019 season, so we had to figure out who was playing that position last year. And then ended up being Ben Powers. This is our starting offensive line in 2019. Left tackle, Ronnie Stanley. Left guard, Brett. This is 2019. It was Ronnie Stanley at left tackle, Bradley Bozeman at left guard. Then it was Matt Skura at center. Right guard was was Marshall Yanda was the right guard 2019, and the right tackle was Orlando Brown. Then going into the 2020 season, it's supposed to be the same lineup, except second-year player Ben Powers was supposed to take the right guard spot. So this was supposed to be the lineup going into that season. It was Ronnie Stanley, Bradley Bozeman, Matt Skura, Marciana now replaced with Ben Powers, right tackle Orlando Brown. And then, of course, he dealt with all the injuries, the COVID, and the snapping nonsense. Snapping nonsense, which means we were rotating Matt Skura and Patrick McCarry from center. There was originally Skura, and then Skura had that bad snap game against New England, so we swapped him out to put in McCarry, and then McCarry ended up testing positive for COVID, so we put in Tristan Colon at center. But anyways, so yeah, and then 2020, it's all Ronnie Stanley's been on IR. We traded Orlando Brown. We brought in Kevin Zeitler to play right guard, so we have more consistency there. We moved left guard Bradley Bozeman to center because nobody got else can snap right. And our left guard has been a mixed bag so far. So yeah, that's basically been the offensive line. And then we get to the running backs. Golly. Alright. Alright, so we start off the season with J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards, Justice Hill, Tyson Williams. In the Washington football game, J.K. Dobbins gets injured. Then that Friday before game day, Gus Edwards and Justice Hill both get injured. So second year player Tyson Williams has to be our number one guy, and then we brought in former Saint Latavius Murray to be the number 2 guy, and then we brought in Devontae Freeman and then Le'Veon Bell to add more depth. And then next thing you know, I don't know whatever happened to Tyson Williams. Out of all the running backs in the first 4 weeks, honestly, Tyson Williams and Latavius Murray have looked the best out of the first 4 weeks. Then all of a sudden, boom, Ravens announced that Tyson Williams is going to be a healthy scratch, and Le'Veon freaking Bell is going to be the third string running back. What's that about? But anyways, the guy that's left are Latavius Murray, who's now injured, Freeman, who's been our starting running back for the past few weeks, and Le'Veon Bell. Le'Veon Bell hasn't looked too bad as our third string pass catching back, and Freeman has been good as our starter. Now, as Latavius Murray coming back, I feel like we're going to do a running back by committee with Freeman and Murray. And once again, I don't know why, but we're not using Tyson Williams, who's actually looked pretty good. So yeah, that's been our run game. Alright, now let's talk about wide receivers, tight ends. So wide receivers are Marquis Brown, Sammy Watkins, Devin Duvernay, James Prochet, Rashad Bateman. Bateman was supposed to be our number 2 guy behind Marquis Brown, but he ended up getting injured. So our week 1 guys were Brown, Watkins, Duvernay, and Prochet. And Duvernay and Prochet both have looked pretty good so far. Duvernay is a great red zone threat with the touchdown catches, and Prochet has been a good vertical threat. And I got Marquis Brown speeds, and out of all of them, well, I think Rashad Bateman, since coming back, Rashad Bateman has been our best route runner. But now with Rashad Bateman coming back, Sammy Watkins somehow gets injured. Why can't both guys stay healthy at once? Because you got Marquis Brown, Rashad Bateman, Devin Duvernay, James Prochet. I want to see all 5 guys healthy at once. And all 5 are really good. And then tight ends is Mark Andrews, and Josh Oliver and Eric Tomlinson, who is more of a blocker fullback type. And then of course Mark Andrews ends up getting injured last against Minnesota. The next thing you know, we have Eric Tomlinson now catching passes because we got nobody else on our roster. And now with Nick Boyle coming back, I think with Mark Andrews' availability and status, since he's still recovering from last game, I think probably if Boyle comes back, it would be Boyle, Tomlinson, and Josh Oliver. Other 3 guys. But once Mark Andrews comes back, Mark Andrews and Nick Boyle are going to be our top 2 guys. There's no doubt about it, Mark Andrews and Nick Boyle. But the question is who's going to be our 3rd guy. And I think due to pass catching alone, it's going to be Josh Oliver. However, I do want to see more of Eric Tomlinson pass catching because he looked pretty good on the targets he's gotten. Um, and last but not least, our fullback Pat Ricard, who's been basically our saving grace on offense. He looked really good. I have no problems with him. Great receiver, great runner, great blocker as well. He basically has been Lamar Jackson's right hand man. If the play's starting to unfold, he can rely on Patrick Ricard to either her block and knock down a few linebackers so Lamar Jackson has space to run, or B, roll out and try to catch it from Lamar Jackson so he had the receiving threat downfield. So he doesn't have to rely on the receivers and tight ends. So yeah, I don't have any problem with that. Now for the moment you guys probably been waiting for. The defense. Alright. Okay, here we go. The defense. Our starting defensive line before the season, Calais Campbell, Brandon Williams at nose, and on the other side, Derek Wolfe. But then Derek Wolfe gets injured, and Brandon Williams also gets injured eventually. So now it's Calais Campbell, Justin Madubuike, and Justin Ellis. Now I have no idea who else is starting at defensive end, but Justin Madubuike gets injured. So besides Calais Campbell and Justin Ellis, I have no idea who else is supposed to be starting. Maybe we're running a lot of outside linebacker sets, moving Odafe Oweh inside, having Ty Bowser and Justin Houston play more outside linebacker, edge rusher type. So, and speaking of which, Odafe Oweh had a hot start to the season, but then fallen off a bit. Which I don't understand. I really hope he can pick up the pace. Because around like week 4, week 5, he was probably our favorite, probably up there to be a defensive rookie of the year with Micah Parsons. But now with all this, Micah Parsons has a big advantage by far. So that's kind of disappointing. And then in the secondary, we've been dealing with a bunch of injuries. We just lost DeJohn Elliott for the season. So from here, we're going to have rotational with Brandon Stevens and Geno Stone. So in some plays, Brandon Stevens will play safety, and then we'll probably switch him out for Geno Stone. Geno Stone will play safety in a few drives. Maybe we'll even see Jimmy Smith out there. But the secondary could really step up. I mean, Jamar Chase killed us. We didn't have a good game against Justin Jefferson, especially in the first half. Second half, I have no complaints in the second half from the defensive side. Outside of that kickoff return, which didn't have happened. Great job. So yeah. So on the defensive side, the biggest problem is we just cannot start off hot. We always start off slow, and I don't get it. Basically what happens is, Ravens win the coin toss, they defer, Tucker kicks it off, the coverage team stops them, let's say, somewhere between the 20 and the 25. Great start. The defense can hold, force a punt on the opening drive, maybe Lamar Jackson can score, we can be up 7-0 midway through the first. Nope. What happens instead is like, let's say it's Kirk Cousins, I guess, against us last week, or Joe Burrow against us 3 weeks ago. they'll just have guys wide open like Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson. Heck, even C.J. Ham had a few plays against us. So the problem is they'll start off hot. Then we'll start to fall off. Their offense can't keep up. Next thing you know, Ravens are down like 14-10 going to the halftime. I'm like a 14-10, a 17-10. Like, it is not looking good. Then comes the third and fourth quarter, in which next thing you know, the offense starts to cook. The offense starts to cook up. The defense starts to play along, and the Ravens somehow tie up the game, and it goes into overtime. And then either Lamar Jackson becomes clutch, and the Ravens drive down the field win easily, or sometimes Lamar Jackson will start playing terribly against, like, let's say against Las Vegas or even Minnesota, where he won't do good, and then the defense will give up a giant play, which is exactly what happened in the Dallas game. Not Dallas game, the Vegas game. So my problem is with the entire team chemistry alone is Ravens need to start off hot and end hot. They had the talent to just go out there and win like a 35-24 or a 35-21, like a giant almost blowout type game. But here's the thing though, they cannot do that. They always start off slow, and I don't get it. So that's basically what the problem is with the Ravens. Especially with team chemistry, they just always start off slow, and I don't understand why. But alright, so I'm just gonna wrap it up here. Offense looks good. Lamar Jackson's been basically carrying the team. I want to see the run game improved. The receiving core, tight end, fullback, everything looks pretty good so far. I want to see more consistency, especially on both sides of the ball. How maybe the offense can stop with the turnovers, and the defense can hold them. So yeah, that's basically my video. Hope you guys enjoyed. See you guys next time. Peace out. Maybe in a few days I'll do the rest of the league as a whole as like a mid-season report. See ya.